So we have in the studio with us the chairman of the Abure-led Labour Party, Mr. Julius Abure. Thank you very much for being with us on the program.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to respond to some of the few allegations made by Kenneth Asogwa.
So let's start with that. What's your response? You heard everything he said. I don't have
yes,
to well, what's your response this morning?
Well, I need to state ab initio that all he came here to say yesterday were falsehoods, and to say that it is an example of a situation where a thief is accusing the owner of the house as the one who stole the properties in the house. I heard him say that we were the one that broke into the office and made away with properties of the Labour Party, and that men of the Nigerian police were looking for me and my executives. I want to say very clearly that it is the same Nanadi Usman led caretaker committee that broke into the office on the 9th of January 2024. I was in the office on that day till 9 a.m. I left the office at 9 a.m. At about 1, they invaded the office, erected their signposts in the office, and in the morning they went there to invade the office. I'm sure they didn't know that I had a video recording.
So that's the video recording that we're looking at right now.
Yes.
All right, so if we can put that up, just so people can see what it is that Mr. Julius Abure is talking about here. So you said this break-in wasn't done by, because they've accused you.
Yeah, you see them there. You see Clement Ojukwu there. You see that's Clement Ojukwu who brought the carpenter that broke the office.
Okay.
And you see the carpenter there bending down, breaking the office, as you can see. And then you see, after breaking the office, Nanadi Usman Co are entering the office, as you can see.
Okay.
You can see them. And if you hear Nanadi Usman, she was telling somebody that this is the office you will come to when you want to buy form for the general election. That is my office that they broke into. Till date, this office key is still with me.
Are you supposed to be in that office in the first place? We heard that the court had ruled
now
that her own Labour Party is substantive. That's the one that's on the website.
Okay, now let me put the issue straight.
Okay.
You recall that in the first instance, there was no vacuum in the leadership of the party, as was erroneously said. We had a convention on the 24th of November 2024, which was supposed to last for 4 years. And then when INEC came up with the idea that tenure had expired, we now said, no, we went to court. It was that matter that Nanadi Usman came to join after Peter Obi and Alex Oti in August went to set up a caretaker committee in Umuahia, which in itself was very illegal. And that matter came up in the court, and the court said we were the legitimate leadership. It was affirmed by the Court of Appeal, if you recall. And the same Nanadi went on appeal to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, no, it's any matter that has to do with political parties, an internal affair of the party.
Yeah, so that is the interpretation that is...
That was what the Supreme Court said.
Okay.
That it was an internal affair of the party. That the organs of the party are the ones that make decisions for the party. And the organs of the party are National Working Committee, NEC, and National Convention. So if the National Convention have held a convention in March 2024, INEC doesn't have any right to say tenure had expired. And so we're working freely with INEC until this year, January this year, when Nanadi went back to court to start the matter all over again, which was unethical, which was illegal, and went to this same Justice Lifo that is now before the eye of the storm to say that she should be pronounced as the chairman of the party. And she got that judgment, regrettably. And we challenged that judgment, and presently we are at the Supreme Court challenging that decision. And so, ordinarily, I give you a very simple example. We have had governors who lost their cases in the Federal High Court. Because it's not the final court, you wait for the final decision of the court. You wait for the Court of Appeal, and you wait for the finality of the Supreme Court to make a decision before you even take any step. I mean, we've had instances where governors lost their cases in the Federal High Court, lost their case in the Court of Appeal, and they eventually win at the Supreme Court before final decisions are taken. But in this case, they didn't wait. They took the law into their hands, went to the office, broke the office, as you can see, took charge of the office, and they came and turned around and said I was the one that broke into my own office. Do you broke into your own office where you have the case?
Well, we do have to substantiate this claim, and we've heard your side. I'm sure they would have. Well, they gave their side yesterday.
They gave their side. That's why I'm only responding to what they came here to come and say.
Because because they can say what they can say is that you broke in first, and then they had to come.
I had the keys to the office.
In any case, when it comes to the Labour Party, INEC says that she is the national chairman. And they're saying that you're parading yourself as national chairman, and that is, impersonation.
It's the position of the law that when the decision of the court is challenged, all parties should maintain status quo.
Is that why you're still parading yourself as the chairman of the party?
Obviously, not until the Supreme Court decide who is what the position of the law, then, and that's why they are wrong. That's why INEC was wrong in the first instance to even put their name on the website. Now, I give you an example. You will recall that INEC timetable have been whittled down by the Federal High Court. INEC timetable as we speak, because the court said INEC timetable is in violation of the Electoral Act, and that the political parties have up till September to field candidates. INEC is on appeal, and they refused to obey that court judgment because they said they were on appeal. In my own case, when the Federal High Court made that pronouncement, what I expected INEC to have done was to have waited till the final decision of the matter before making a decision. In other words, let me even say this. We filed motion for stay of execution of that judgment, and INEC was served that motion. Ordinarily, when there's a motion for stay, all parties were supposed to wait. But in this case, INEC was in a hurry to quickly implement. Now, the question I want to ask is that why is INEC today not implementing the decision of the Federal High Court that their timetable is illegal? And they are not obeying it because they said they are on appeal. But in our own case, nobody waited. So, in any event, we are doing our thing and we are in the Supreme Court. I believe that the Supreme Court will do the right thing. And not until that, the controversy continue, and we continue to do our thing.
Mr. Abure, people are sending me messages about it. They say, why is this so important to you? If they don't,
no, you see,
why is it so important for you to be national chairman of this party?
Now, let me be frank with you.
They say you're taking a walk, a leader without followers.
So who said so? Yeah. The truth of the matter, I have all the followers in the party. They could not even field a candidate in Enugu, where I won. I produced a senator in the just concluded by-election. My senator in Enugu, Okezia, who died. I produced that senator. It's a Labour Party controlled area. They could not field candidates from there. I today go and find out, do your investigation across the federation. All the members.
What about the corruption issue?
All the Labour
because that's part of what the issue was.
Let me finish this. All the Labour Party members are with us. As Labour Party as are today under Danadi, it's only in existence in Abia State.
They said you are corrupt.
So they said so, but
they said you collected money, the funding when Peter Obi was still in your party. They said at that time that the funding was an issue and that you had embezzled the monies that were being used for the P2B campaign.
Yes, all that issue have continued to come up, and I have cleared the time without number. People who were in charge of Peter Obi donations and funds have simply come out to say that the funds were domiciled with them. I want to say clearly again, I will repeat it, I've repeated it before. Yeah. I've repeated it in Shein's program. I've repeated it in all the programs I've attended. Even Aisha Yusuf, who was signatory to that account, had come out twice or three times to admit that no donations came to the party. Peter Obi wanted a separate account for his donation and his campaign. I wanted some other people to administer it. Because we were not interested in the funding, the money, we're not interested in who does work. We're more interested in the winning of the election. We're more concerned with the success. And therefore, yes, the campaign funds were channeled to an account where Aisha Yusuf, Ighodalo, yes, Pastor Ighodalo, were in charge of it. And they have since come out to take responsibility.
All right, we have to go on a commercial break.
Yes.
When we come back, Ayo will be taking over this conversation. So please, we'll be right back.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We're still speaking with Mr. Julius Abure of the Labour Party. Well, thank you again for joining us for this conversation, Mr. Abure. My colleague asked you the other time about your recognition by whether or not INEC recognizes you, and you say that you are not the only one working with yourself, that when they said that you don't have followers, that you're just taking a walk, you said you have the support of other members of your party. Now, we understand from INEC, from the INEC website for political parties, the Labour Party page has the national chairman, Senator Nenadi Usman, as you know, National Secretary, Honorable Iheanacho Obioma, National Treasurer, Alhaji Hamisu Santurati, and on like that. Who are the other people in the EXCO with you?
Well, we have Abure Raifo, like you know. We have a lot of them that I can't be calling their name now. Ayo Olorunfemi, and so on and so forth. The national executive is intact, that was elected at the convention in Unewi. You will recall that even after our election in Unewi, while our names were in INEC, even up to January this year, Nenadi Usman continued to parade herself as the national chairman of the party until eventually court in January this year gave that judgment that INEC should recognize her as the national chairman of the party. Of course, that is the judgment we have challenged, and then we're in the Supreme Court, and not until the Supreme Court decides what the position is, the situation remains. And that's why we have continued to question the rationale why their name should be on the website when the final court in the land have not decided the matter. Okay. Like I spoke with your colleague.
There are a number of other things to take on with you, Mr. Abure, but very, very quickly respond to this one. You know, it's been alleged that you are playing the role of a spoiler for the APC. Are you?
Well, somebody who is playing the role of a spoiler for APC would not appoint Peter Obi as the sole presidential candidate in 2024. You will recall that in that same convention that brought us as the national executive members of the party, we appointed or elected and agreed that Peter Obi should be the sole presidential candidate for 2027 general election. Somebody who is a spoiler of the party or who is working for any other political party, of course, will not even do that. Like I said in one of my interviews, very shortly when the campaign starts, it will be very visible to Nigerians who was playing the role of the spoiler for the APC. I want to even say here clearly that it wasn't the APC that was the cause of the problem of the party. The crisis in the party was created by Alex Otti and Peter Obi himself when they went to Umuahia to create a caretaker committee that has become an albatross to the party. The party didn't have a major crisis. There is no political party in Nigeria that will not have one disagreement or the other. Those disagreements are internal matters that we could have resolved within ourselves. Not until Peter Obi and Alex Otti went to Umuahia to create a parallel national working committee, the party didn't have any crisis. So if there's any person or group of persons who created crisis in the party, it's Alex Otti and himself and Peter Obi who went to Umuahia, Abia State, to pick people as the national executive members of the party. The party never had a parallel group. We never had crisis in the party. We had disagreement, no doubt. Every political party had that. But it was Alex Oti and Peter Obi himself who went to Umuahia to create a critical committee that became an albatross to the party. And therefore, it is those people who created that crisis in the party that can be said to be working for the APC, or maybe naively created crisis in the party that have become an albatross. I promoted the party rose in my time.
Yeah.
I gave free tickets to people, looked for credible Nigerians to run on the platform of the party. You will agree with me that the party became big in my time. I promoted the party, spent my time, spent my time, spent my energy, spent my resources, gave people free tickets, promoted them. People who wouldn't have won councillorship election, I brought them to the party, promoted them, and they all became elected officers in the party. And as soon as they won, the Labour Party is synonymous to me. I took it everywhere, promoted it, spent my money, spent my time, raised the party from nothing to something. I was looking for credible candidates from one place to the other because I wanted to play politics differently. And it was in my time that the party rose. As soon as we elevated the party, people who came to run under the party felt that we were no longer qualified to be members of the National Working Committee. And that was why they gathered themselves, went to Umuahia, and illegally created.
I mean, you said that, Mr. Abure, but we do have to wrap up.
We should put all the records straight and properly put the blame to those who created. We are the victim of this situation.
We do have to wrap up. But you know, one of the most disappointing things.
People see us as the villain.
Yes, we are being viewed as the villain. One of the most disappointing stories about the Labour Party is exactly what you just pointed out. How big it was, and how it galvanized people, and how many people loved your party. And now it's all gone.
Now you can see, ask yourself.
But they blame you. They blame you. You see, you are being blamed for creating this problem.
It is easy to give the dog a bad name in order to hang the dog. Now I have told you clearly, in 2024 March, we gave Peter Obi the ticket for 2027.
Okay.
Was that not patriotic for the party?
Okay.
A reasonable person will not put the house together and use that momentum of 2024 and put it together to 20.
We do have to wrap up them, Mr. Julius Abure, but I think this is a conversation we have to have again.
Yes, I will be glad to continue the conversation.
We do have to thank you so much, Chairman of the Abure-led Labour Party, Mr. Julius Abure. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.